everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I am very excited to share with you all the news release from ILNP. I have their new candy-coated collection for spring 2025, and yes, I do know it has been a minute since I reviewed the brand on the channel. Yeah.
But anywho,
as someone who is generally not the biggest fan of spring pastels, I freaking love it when a brand does something really bright and fun for spring, because I feel like spring is bright and fun. I genuinely don't understand why spring is pastels every year. I can understand like grayed out shades because, you know, rain, clouds, all of that, but I don't understand why we have pastels. If somebody knows, let me know. So for spring 2025, ILNP has the candy coated collection, which features 6 shades. We have 4 holographic jellies, we have 1 magnetic and 1 sheer shimmer. The candy coated collection goes on sale on February 28th, which hopefully this video will be up in time for that. For the first week of sale, there is going to be a special pre-order window where you can get the polishes at a slight discount. All of the polishes featured in today's video were sent to me in gifted PR from ILNP. This video is not sponsored. Thank you very much, ILNP, for sending these over to me. As always, in the description box, links to where you can pick these polishes up, links to the brand's website, social media pages, my social media, did I hit the mic? My social media pages, and of course I'll also have timestamps in the description box as well. And as always, I'll save all of my final thoughts and sale information for the end of the video. Let's get into this one. Alright, before we get into the video, I did also want to share, I did notice that 4 of the polishes in this release do glow under black light. These are not glow-in-the-dark polishes, but they are UV reactive. Usually glowing under black light usually means that there is some neon pigment in the polishes. I would definitely believe that these have neon pigment in them because they are extra bright. Going in a vague rainbow order, this first polish is called Gummy Bear. ILNP describes it as a vibrant pink holographic jelly. Gummy Bear had a fantastic formula. As you can see on that first coat, this one does start off fairly sheer. This is in a jelly base, so you will definitely want to build this one up to gain some opacity going. However, I did still find that in 3 coats, I did have some visible nailing with this shade. Not terribly surprising because again, it's a jelly base. Usually for jellies, you are going to have some visible nail line with them. While ILNP is not technically classifying this shade as a neon, I did still think this was like a neon pink shade. I tried my best to show the overall color of this polish, but it is still very bright in person. The holographic in here is super duper sparkly. I'm pretty sure that they use holographic flakies. They do not dry down textures like a glitter would, but you still get all of the nice sparkle and shine that you would of a holographic glitter. So removal is not going to be overly difficult with the shade. As per usual, I always recommend the soak off method, but you could scrub this one off if you really wanted. I had a feeling that a lot of people were going to wonder how this polish compares to Holo Taco's Life in Plastic from their anniversary collection from like 2 years ago. While these are both in neon pink jelly bases, Life in Plastic had a micro glitter in them and Gummy Bear has a holographic flaky. I would not classify these 2 polishes as dupes. However, if you missed out on Life in Plastic, I would say that Gummy Bear would be a really good alternative because it's a neon pink and holographic. These aren't dupes, but they are super similar. And just in case my bottle of Life in Plastic faded at all, I also wanted just to show some footage that I recorded of Life in Plastic when it was brand new. Best way that I would describe the differences between these 2 shades is Life in Plastic is slightly cooler in tone and the holographic glitter in there is a bit more dense than the holographic flakes in Gummy Bear. This next polish is called Sweet Tooth and ILNP describes it as a cotton candy pink shimmer. Sweet Tooth also had a fantastic formula. The shimmer in here is super strong and super glowy. I found the shimmer had an orange to gold color shift with green coming in at very extreme angles. Much like the previous polish, Sweet Tooth is another shade that starts off pretty sheer, so you will definitely want to build this one up. And similar to the previous shade, I did still find that even after 3 coats that I did have visible nailing with this shade. I feel like I say this on a fairly regular basis, but pink plus gold is a winning combination in my book. They just look so freaking good together. Similar to the last shade, there's also holographic flakies in this polish, which give the polish a super pretty sparkle. This is a very holographic one. The holographic flakies all dry down very flat and they won't make removal overly difficult. As per usual, I will always recommend the soak off method. Nicole of the past decided to darken things down so you could better see the shimmer color here, so that's what's going on in this shot. I know I'm not the only one who saw this shade and immediately thought this was going to look super similar to Pink Lemonade from last year's Cabana collection. Sweet Tooth has a more saturated shade of pink to it, and then the shimmer in Pink Lemonade is a bit larger in size, kind of like a micro flake kind of vibe. This next polish is called Peach Ring, and ILNP describes it as a soft orange shimmer. Peach Ring is kind of like the sherbet orange version to Sweet Tooth. I don't know for sure if ILNP used the exact same shimmer for this shade as they did for Sweet Tooth, but it looks the same to me. Peach Ring also had a fantastic formula. Again, it starts off pretty dang sheer and it built up to be not as sheer, but I still had obvious visible nail lines, so it does not reach full opacity. While I do think that the third coat deepens the base color as well as adding like a smidge more opacity, I would likely wear this one in 2 coats for personal wear. Just like how I love the shimmer in Sweet Tooth, I absolutely love how the shimmer looks in Peach Ring paired with this like sherbety orange base. It is so dang pretty. While I do feel that a lot of the shades in this release are a very vibrant tone for spring, I feel like this particular shade of orange is like my personal vibe for like an orange for spring. Not so vibrant that it feels like too bright for spring, but it's also not so pale that I feel bored looking at it. The holographic flakies once again give this polish a lot of holographic sparkle without any real texture. Removal won't be overly difficult, but the holographic flakies do have a tendency to kind of stick to your skin and nails upon removal. Coincidentally, this shade also reminded me of a polish from the Cabana collection called Bright Side. While I do think these two polishes share a similar shimmer as well as the holographic flakies, Bright Side is a lot more saturated in color. I was also able to reach full opacity with Bright Side, and I also remember Bright Side looking a lot more metallic on the nail than Peach Ring does. And now we have Jellybean, which ILNP describes as a candy green holographic jelly nail polish. Jellybean also had a fantastic formula. This was the hardest polish in the release to get color accurate. To be perfectly honest, I am still not completely happy with how bright this one looks on camera. It is neon green in person, and my camera hates neon green. This is the green version to the shade Gummy Bear that we saw earlier in this release. Jellybean also had a fantastic formula. It was slightly on the thicker side, but the kind of thickness that kind of stays where you put it, it makes application pretty easy. I was trying really hard to do careful application and not make an absolute mess. So on that first coat, I don't think I had enough polish on my brush, so it did look pretty dang streaky on that first coat. I found my second and third coats evened everything out pretty nicely. I personally think that this one does look best in 3 coats. And just like Gummy Bear and the other polishes in this release, the holographic flakies will not dry down textured on your nail. They won't make removal overly difficult, but they will be pretty dang messy upon removal. This next polish is called Rock Candy. ILNP describes this one as a vibrant teal holographic magnetic. Rock Candy also had a fantastic formula. Y'all know how some magnetic polishes look really weird unmagnetized and you're looking at it and like something about it just looks kind of wrong? This is not that type of magnetic. I kid you not, I fully swatched this one out on my thumb, swatched it on a swatch stick, had no idea it was a magnetic until I saw people talking about it being a magnetic online. So when I originally swatched this one, I swatched it out in 2 coats and I really liked how it looked in 2 coats unmagnetized. There was a little bit of visible nail line still left, but I had really liked how this one looked in 2 coats even though there was still a little bit of VNL. This polish unmagnetized has a very foil-y kind of metallic-y vibe to it. You can add a 3rd coat for this polish if you want to cover up your visible nail line. To cover up your visible nail line, you can definitely add a 3rd coat to bring this one up to reach full opacity. I was really impressed with Rock Candy that it was both still really holographic, both magnetized and unmagnetized. I find sometimes with some magnetics, when it's holographic, you can't actually see the holographic well unless you magnetize it, and that is not the case for this one. As is the case with all the magnetics that I've tried from this brand, this magnetizes super duper easily. I use both a bar magnet as well as a horseshoe style magnet to get the velvet effect. I'm pretty sure that the brand used a silver magnetic pigment for this one. I did notice that when the cat eye effect, the magnetic effect looks kind of like turquoisey, but with the velvet effect, you really see that silver super strongly. Nothing in here is going to dry down texture. The polish does dry down a little bit flat, so you will definitely want glossy top coat to give this a nice glossy shine. Removal will be fairly easy, but pretty messy if you choose to scrub this one off. The most similar polish to Rock Candy that I had in my collection from ILNP was High Tide. The base on High Tide is actually blue, but the shimmer in here gives it a very tealish kind of look to it. And because I recently did a review on Holo Taco's Teal with It from the David's Tea collection, I just wanted to compare the 2 polishes side by side. Yes, they are both metallics in the teal family with holographic, but I would not say the 2 polishes are dupes either. The best way that I could describe the color differences would be Teal with It has a little bit more green to it, And the final polish in this collection is called Sugar Cube. ILNP describes this one as a sheer lilac shimmer. Sugar Cube also, unsurprisingly, also had a fantastic formula. This is actually the sheerest polish out of the entire collection. Sugar Cube was also my least favorite polish from this release. The shimmer effect in this polish is a whitish, silverish color, and I was not really a huge fan of that. But I do think this is probably one of the more like classic spring colors in the release. While I wasn't the biggest fan of this polish, it still is pretty dang pretty. I can still admit that, even though it's not my kind of pretty. The holographic in here is super duper strong. While the combination of the holographic and the shimmer does make this look like there's glitter in the polish, this is not a glitter. It's definitely going to be a shimmer polish, and nothing is going to dry down textured. Removal, once again, is not going to be overly difficult, just fairly messy, especially if you choose to scrub the polish off. I'd recommend the soak off method just so you're not making a massive mess. Alrighty, so final thoughts. I thought this release was so freaking fun. So damn fun. I absolutely love the color story on this release. It is super bright, super fun. This is one of those spring releases that I'm sure for those of you who are like super strict seasonal color lovers, that you'll probably only think like one of these shades is super springy. But for those of us who are just like bright as colors all year round, we're very happy currently. I always appreciate a mixed finish release as well, so I really like that we had multiple finishes in this release. I'm sure y'all can guess that my top pick from this release is obviously going to be Gummy Bean. Gummy Bean? Gummy Bear. Gummy Bear. I can't not pick the bright AF Pank. It's Pank. I would love to know what everyone else saw of this release. Are you planning on picking it? Have you already picked it up? Y'all know the drill. Let me know all your thoughts and feelings. I feel like I've seen a lot of hype about this in my Discord server, so I feel like people are really excited for this release. As far as pricing and sale information goes, the Candy Coated Collection goes on sale February 28th on the ILNP website. ILNP is also sold on Amazon and Etsy. I'm pretty sure that the collections go up about like a week after on Amazon and Etsy. I don't think Amazon and Etsy get like the pre-order like discounts. The jelly and shimmer shades in this release are all priced at $10, and Rock Candy, the one and only magnetic in this release, is priced at $12.50. Before we end today's video, I do want to give a very special shout out to my channel members, Shenanigans, Story Fans, names of course all on the screen right now. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, there is a link for that in the description box. But as always, please do not feel pressured to sign up for channel memberships. Just like the video, comment, share, subscribe, all the things, and seriously, we are good. If you like seeing my face here on the YouTubes, I also have a second channel called Nicole Danielson. I post all of my non-nail polish nonsense over there. If you like the vibes over here and you've already subscribed, I also have a Discord server, which I'm also very active in, so if you want to come over there, hang out, chit chat. Just thank you all for joining for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a lovely week, folks, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! When I get high, I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Yeah, I'm headed to the Bucks, then I'm ballin' like yeah.